and the kids on the dole and the mining communities right across Britain could do with jobs in the coal industry. And people say, I would want my kids to go down the pit. I'm telling you now, our sons and our grandsons would bite their bloody arm and leg off for a chance of working in the industry and earning a decent wage. We've got coal from here to the Humber. There are 26 trillion tonnes of coal under the North Sea from Whitby up to Berwick, and another 30 trillion tonnes of coal from Carlisle down to Liverpool Bay. There's coal there for 1,000 years, for thousands of miners, and it's the cheapest form of energy. And the best form of burning that was the plan to build the Don Valley Power Station over there, which would have meant you could burn the coal with 90% of the emissions taken out, CO2 out of it, and we would have put it into the generators, and it wouldn't attract a fossil fuel tax because we weren't producing CO2. Now they're talking about a free market. If people had the chance of burning electricity, getting electricity for £24 a megawatt hour instead of £200 a megawatt hour, which fuel would they choose? But we're not allowed to choose. There's no free market in energy. They'll tell you what energy you're going to consume. And they'll tell you time after time as your bill rises that this is the best thing for the planet. Well, I happen to disagree. We disagreed in '84 and I disagree now. The best source of fuel and energy in the world is still coal. The Germans are building 23 new coal power stations when all of the political parties in Britain are talking about closing down the last 5 coal generators. It's the politics of the madhouse. And we should continue to fight for the coal industry and fight for the miners' union, because of course the reason why they wanted rid of the coal industry was because of the existence of the miners' union, and we have a different vision of society than the bankers and the spivs that live in the south of England. With no further ado, I'd like to hand over to a man who stood his corner and is one of the few principled politicians left in the House of Commons, Dennis Skinner.
Thank you very much, Dave. I know that when I come to places like Hatfield, I'm with my own people. And I'll tell you, there's more people here than on any given day in the Palace of Variety. When I was demanding that the pits stay open, the ones that Dave referred to, only a few weeks ago, I reckon there were about 30 people, including the speaker. That was the sum total. Fortunately, 1 or 2 newspapers managed to convey what I'd said. The important thing is there should be a lot more pits open. And as I was telling them down in Kent last Monday, May Day, in the Kent, what used to be the Kent coalfield, we were involved in the most honourable dispute there's ever been throughout the whole of my life. Why? Most strikes are about money, wages and conditions. The 1984 strike was about a 16-year-old kid in a pit village in Wales being supported by a 60-year-old miner in Hatfield and Bolsover. They were fighting for the right for somebody to get a job who they didn't even know. That's how honourable it was. It wasn't about mammon, it wasn't about greed, and I'm not saying any strike is, but it was about saving the pits. It's remarkable, really, that we stood out for 12 months when I was around the country doing 300 meetings that Dave were talking about, raising money in all kinds of unlikely places. I can hardly believe that they've got a miners' support group in Wimbledon. But we had a meeting. We raised about £2,000-3,000 for a Nottinghamshire miners' strike fund, because you know, there were a few people in Notts who stuck it right to the very end. And so when we talk about Scott County, we should always remember There were people like my brother, Jimmy Hood, Edwin Richardson. The list was endless. And they managed to keep the NUM in a limited way inside the Notts Goldfield. And isn't it strange, or doesn't it make a lot of sense, that when we were telling those Notts miners and the UDM, this act of yours of going down that pit and working for Thatcher won't save your bloody skin, because every single pit bar one in Nottingham has already gone. And isn't it rather poignant that one of the pits that might stay to the very end is over there?
Yay!
In the real Robin Hood country. So that's why I campaign. I campaign because it's in my heart. And I know, as Dave has told you, with all the energy, arguments, that you can't say that coal should be abandoned. And do you know what's going to take its place? Fracking. So let's start an anti-fracking movement here today. We've all got to have something to do. I've signed God knows how many petitions already. One was for the nurses. I remember the days when we struck for them. Do you know today, under these strict government laws, unions can't strike for other groups because it would be regarded as a political strike. So I'm very pleased I'm here at Hatfield to open this wonderful memorial, because it's different, isn't it? I mean, it's not half a winding wheel, is it? That's what we've got involved of. In every pit village, 2 halves of a winding wheel. Here, we've got part of a bus stop. And a few flowers. And stones that have been stolen from somewhere. No, it's wonderful really, because it was a savage strike, and I didn't like the end. I wasn't one of those people that held my head up in the air and walked back to work with the miners. I couldn't do it. I tried to carry on the fight as best I possibly can. So when Mick Lanigan said to me, will you come and open this wonderful memorial? I said, of course I will. And here we are, making history. We're opening a memorial to the miners at the top of the pit lane of a pit that might be the last in Britain. And that's why it's important for people to understand that today we've got a crowd of people who understand the battle that they fought. And why do you understand the battle? Most important of all, you understand, I said in Kent, I said, why do we keep meeting for the 20th anniversary, the 25th anniversary, the 30th anniversary? I said, I'll tell you why. Because we've lived long enough to learn the real truth, that everything that was said in the strike about the pits being closed has come true. That's why we meet. Because we know that our language was correct. That's why we're here. And so, the rain's kept off. The sun's not out yet. But it's a sunny day for us. Because it's about us. It's about your life, your real life, and it's about an industry that is important to this village, and it's about trade unionism. That's what it's really about. The fact that miners were in a union, all of them. There has been no body of men or women that have been stronger together than the Brigade of Guards known as the NUM. That's why Thatcher decided to import from America to smash the Union. It was part of a conspiracy. And then she went on to get rid of all the manufacturing base, sell it abroad. That's what it was all about. It wasn't even just about us. It was about a conspiracy in order to get rid of the manufacturing base and rely on the casino economy. So if anybody wants to know about deregulation, and they said it was the Labour government and this, that, and the other, it all started with Thatcher. That's when it began. And every single public closure in Hatfield and Bolsover is all part of the Thatcher strategy. She didn't just try and destroy the NUN. I think it was ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
If it had been in Bosnia, the Guardian would have been on our side. That's what it was. This is our answer today. So, I don't know precisely what I've got to do, but I think I'll risk it. Thanks for all your support. It gives me a great delight to open this memorial that will last longer than all those people that fought us in 1984. When we look at this, we'll remember the battle, we'll remember Orgreave, and we'll remember most of all that we were telling the truth and they were lying through the teeth. Thank you very much.
Have a brief silence while the band plays Grassford. Yeah, Mick, sorry.
Very quickly, so to do a minute silence if you don't mind before Grassford starts.